following podcast is recorded and produced by Emerge, a media creators co-op, in affiliation with the network at bicbb-radio.com.
Hi, and welcome to our third episode of the Mom and Daughter Disney Dreamer podcast. I'm Isabelle, also known as Izzy.
And I'm Nicole, Isabelle's mom.
Today's episode is going to be about Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Yeah, but before we get into it, I just want to thank everybody for listening to our first two episodes.
Yes.
We've gotten a good following so far, and I just want to let people know where they can find us. Just a little reminder. We're on Spotify and Apple and YouTube, and also we are on Instagram and Facebook.
Yes.
And just a reminder, feel free to email us some questions. We're starting to get a couple.
Which is very exciting.
Yeah, we're happy that we're getting some fans and some questions being written in.
Definitely.
And you can email us at momanddaughter.disneydreamers@gmail.com. So that's momanddaughter.disneydreamers@gmail.com.
Yes. So let's go through the topics for this episode. So we're going to be talking about Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, which is basically somewhere for some little kids. So we'll get into what it is. And we're also going to talk about where you can find your princesses at every park. So let's start with Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique.
Okay.
So what is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique?
So I have to say first, I wish it was for adults, but
Yes.
it is really the guests that can go are between 3 and 12 years of age, and it's for girls and boys.
Yeah.
And they have to, of course, be accompanied by an adult. But it's basically a fairy godmother turns you into a princess or for a boy a knight.
Yes.
And right now, the location for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique
is at Magic Kingdom.
is at Magic Kingdom. They used to have it at Disney Springs and then also at Grand Floridian Resort. But unfortunately, due to COVID, those two shut down, and it was supposed to be temporary, but it is still, both of them are still shut down. So the only place you can go for Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Boutique currently is Magic Kingdom. And you have to have a park ticket. You can't just have a reservation at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Boutique and then think you can go to like Epcot and leave or something. You have to stay at the park. You have to have a Magic Kingdom park pass.
So reserving early. You have to reserve early. You have to get a reservation, and you just have to because
it books up very fast.
Yes.
So once you know you're going to be going to Magic Kingdom and you have a little one that really wants to, partake and do the experience, definitely get on that Disney app and reserve early. We have an experience where we almost didn't get to do it. They do occasionally have walk-ups, but those are rare. Sometimes when you pass by, they have like a big sandwich board sign out front, and they will say now offering walk-up appointments, but that's not a promise. That's not a guarantee. So if you didn't have an appointment and you were thinking about it, like after the fact, certainly stop by and see if they have any, cancellations. But if it's something that you want to do, definitely book it in advance. And we've been encouraging our neighbor friend to do that because they're going to be going in the summer, and their child is like at the perfect age to do it. So I want to talk about our experience. So You were 4, you're 12 now, but you were 4 and it was your very first trip. So of course we wanted for you to experience Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Boutique. I really wanted you to have it. And we actually did it at Disney Springs, and because it was open back then, that's several years ago. This is way before COVID when we went. But a little tip, don't book it on your first day or when you're like on arrival. We had a flight delay. We had a transfer, and we were supposed to be going to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Boutique later that day. But there was no way that we were going to be getting there. So my husband, your dad, went, found a quiet spot in the airport and was thankfully able to get a new reservation, but it was actually at Disney Springs, and it wasn't a day that we were going to a park, but we still were able to have a lovely and fun experience, and you were able to walk around Disney Springs. And so that's definitely reserve early.
Yes. So what is Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique? So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique is a place where you can get your hair done, your makeup done, your nails done, and you get to be in a dress, or if you're a boy, you could be a prince or a knight. So a little tip, if your child wants to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, you should bring a dress because like a princess dress, because just picking one out, they have dresses that you can pick out at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but when you bring a dress, it's a lot easier. You don't have to like sit there and wait. It's easier to bring a dress.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, know in advance of which princess you want to be. Yeah. And if you do have a dress already at home, or you can buy one, online, whether you find one on Amazon or the Disney store online, or some other like like an Etsy shop or what have you. Definitely bring it, and definitely when you get to your resort, hang it up so you start getting the wrinkles out. Mm-hmm. And then you can bring it to the park that day. Store it in a bag so it doesn't get wet and so on.
So the princesses that I was Belle the first time, I was Cinderella the second time, and I was Snow White the third time. The fourth time I went, which was the last time we went in the summer of 2024, I didn't really bring a ball gown dress. I kind of just wore like a Belle dress, but it wasn't like
the traditional,
really like
fluffy,
yes,
poofed out dress. It was a different dress that I found on an online store.
Yes. So when you check in, it should take 5 minutes to do your reservation, and late arrivals may experience delays or wait times or need to be rescheduled. Yeah.
So I would definitely get to the area, which is right by the castle, maybe about 10 minutes beforehand, because you never know what the line is like, or your walk time from like where you are at one section of the park to the other. So just plan ahead. Once you get there, they'll check you in, and then there will be a waiting area. And I remember last time it was quite hectic. So because you're in an area where some people don't bring their dresses, and they're deciding like which princess they're going to be. Definitely have a game plan. So if you are bringing your dress, great. You'll know who you are going to. Your little one's going to be. But if you're there and you don't know which princess you're going to be, there are so many choices, and everything, of course, is beautiful, and it can be overwhelming. Not just for kids, but for the adults too. So have a game plan. If your child's favorite princess is Cinderella, okay, they're going to be Cinderella. Or if this is if they're lucky enough to do it more than once, don't be the same princess both times. Pick a different princess. Okay, so let's talk about the process. So after you've made your reservation, you're there, you've picked out your dress, what have you.
Well, you don't have to pick out your dress. You can also bring it.
Right, of course, like we had said. You have your dress, you've decided. Once it's your turn to be taken, you're assigned a fairy godmother, and then you're also assigned like an assistant to the fairy godmother as well. So one of them will come get you, your child, and take you to like a dressing room area. There's like a really fancy mirror, and they do like a little fun thing to really get the kid excited.
Like there's a mirror where you get dressed, and a fairy godmother, like the actual fairy godmother, actually appears on your mirror, and it's just really, really nice, and
Yeah, and then the cast member will brush out your child's hair. The one thing that they do want the parents to make sure is that your child's hair is clean. Not a lot of tangles, but they will detangle if needed. But they brush them out.
they don't wash your hair.
No, they don't wash your hair.
What we did the last time that I did Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is I took a shower the day before because they don't wash your hair unless it's really, really needed. So
No, they don't wash your hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they'll wet it, they'll brush it out, they're going to check for cooties, that type of thing. But, after that, then you're taken into the beautiful salon area. It is, there are other kids there and the parents, and you get, situated into your station. You get to pick out which package you want. And you might also already know this in advance because you have to, reserve it, but you have a good idea of what the different packages are. They range from, various pricing. So starting off at about $100 and ranging and going as high as like $450, which I don't think is necessary. But from our experience, we've gotten the very basic the package, which is called the carriage package. Yep, the carriage package.
It starts off around $99.95 plus tax.
Mm-hmm.
So for this carriage package, you get Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique t-shirt, your hair styled, shimmering makeup, and face gems. So they do your makeup, and at the end, you can also get like some princess gems on your face, which I love. You can get a princess sash around you and a clinch bag, which I use as my dance bag. I love that bag so much. And you also can get nail polish.
Mm-hmm. Now, when we first did it several years ago, your very first time, they've added things to this package, which I think is great. They didn't before previously offer the shirt. So we've gotten one shirt so far since we've done it. Before they did offer the cinch bag, which is great. And it's a pink bag, and it says Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo Boutique on it. It has the Disney emblem on it.
Yeah.
It's really nice. And then you also get the makeup that you use and the nail polish, and then they also provide like a little sample size wash, like facial wash and
cleanser.
Yep, and a little sample size of shampoo.
The second package that you can get is the Castle package, which is starting out at $199.95. Let me tell you, the prices are a lot, but it is worth it, I would definitely say.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, you get a Disney princess gown of your choice, additional coordinating accessories, you get your hair styled, shimmering makeup and face gem, a princess necklace, sash, and a bag, and also nail polish. Yeah. So it's basically like the first one, just like you get a little bit more accessories.
Yeah, and the gown, if you can bring your own, the dress. And there's several other packages. We won't have to go through all of them at the moment. They are all online, and I just want to note, too, at the time of this recording, when it's time for your time to do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo, the prices may change, but this is what it currently is as we're recording this in April of 2025. So
I will want to say one more package. I actually didn't know that this was a package, but it's the Disney Encanto package, which is at $179.95. So you can either choose between a Mirabel or an Isabella gown. You get coordinating accessories, hairstyling, shimmering makeup and face gem, princess sash and clinch bag, and nail polish. Mm-hmm. So I am not a huge fan of Encanto, so I would not do this package, but if you love Encanto, you would do this package and it would be great. There are so many other packages that you can get as well. So I do think Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, I wouldn't say it's definitely expensive, but it's a great experience.
Yeah, the experience, I think, is worth it, especially if it's a first-time visit to Disney World, if your little girl is a huge princess fan. And it's not like something you have to do every time you go either. Mm-hmm. But it's like a really beautiful photos that you can get. I just want to point out the the packages for the boys. They have a night package, and surprisingly, that package is extremely reasonable at only about $20.
Yeah.
And you get a sword and a shield, and you get hairstyling.
And then the deluxe night package is not even $100, $79, almost $80, and you get a night costume, mighty sword and shield, and a hairstyling with gel.
Right. And not that it's not for boys, but you know, the girls definitely get, I think, more attention. There's more to it. So a little tip afterwards or during it, you can have 2 adults with your child during the hairstyling and makeup. And there's different hairstyling that you can do. Traditionally, you have Isabelle has gotten the bun style,
just the normal one.
but they do like while there, the child can pick out what hairstyle they want. They've done braids before, and it depends on how long your child's hair is as well. So there's some different options. You can get like a big bow put in your hair, and then they also always have like this really pretty clip that you can put in your hair too. That's actually like it appears to be like a hidden Mickey in your hair. So it's really, really cute. We're going to put some photos on our Instagram and Facebook so that you can see from our experiences. So be sure to check that out after this airs.
Yes. The time that it usually takes is about 90 minutes, so a little bit over an hour. But you do definitely have to wait a long time, usually, to get even started. Like the last time we went, we waited almost 30 minutes to even more than 30 minutes, even to just get seen. So just be prepared that it might take a little while. So yeah. Yeah.
So a good thing to point out, if you are having a reservation, like let's say at the Cinderella Castle for lunch or dinner, time out your appointment accordingly. So maybe you do the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo mid-morning, and then you have a later lunch, or you can do an earlier dinner or a late dinner. So as always, no matter which park you're going to be at, one of the things you have to do is be flexible. So I know a lot of girls would go to Cinderella's castle for lunch or dinner after they're all made up, and that's great photos. Now, they do have a professional photographer in the studio area taking photos periodically of the princesses getting ready, your little ones getting ready as they're getting their hair and makeup. And of course, the parents or whatever guardian is there, you can have up to 2. You can take your own photos as well. But make sure you get scanned after the professional photographer takes their photos. And it's just a really magical moment. They make it super sweet. You're the most important person in the moment of the day. And the cast members do a fantastic job of just making your little girl or your little boy feel so important and special. I know the first time, as when you were Belle, the first time when my Isabelle was Belle the first time at Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. It was emotional watching. And I know I had some tears, and even my husband had some tears too, because it was just so special to see. Again, your child has to be between 3 and 12 years of age. If I had a magic wand, I wish they had different packages available for tweens and teenagers. I think that would be ideal, because even a 13-year-old or a 16-year-old still loves princesses. Even me as an adult, I won't say my age, but I would love to be treated that way and, be made up for the day and just have that special treatment. So if I had a magic wand and could talk to Disney, I would say offer some different packages for different ages.
Even if you don't need a big dress, even just get your hair done and your makeup done. For me, especially the last time that I did go, my makeup, I put on, I wouldn't say a lot, but I do put on makeup almost every single day. And I feel like the time that when I went the last time, I feel like they didn't even put any makeup on me. They just did a little bit of light pink eyeshadow, which I didn't even see. And then they put on this disgusting blush.
What?
Not disgusting, but
That's
like
a strong
it's
word.
like I couldn't even see it. And then this little like lip gloss.
Yeah.
I felt like I didn't have any makeup on.
Mhm.
Not saying that I put a tons of makeup on every single day, but for a 12-year-old girl and I didn't feel like I had any makeup on.
Yeah.
So if they did make it for older people, like teens and adults, put a little bit more makeup on us, please.
Okay. The word is out. Yeah.
I love Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. It's amazing, but I put on a little bit more makeup for the older people.
Yeah, for the older girls maybe.
gosh.
Or maybe ask while you're doing it, would you like a little bit more, a little less? Because like if you're younger, maybe the moms or dads don't want their little girl like,
They don't even
Like-
put any makeup
like
on. How
on
would
a
they
lot.
not want less?
yeah. Well, all right. A little tip for the fairy godmothers. And the other thing too, regardless if you have the Disney Photo Pass, once you're done at the boutique, the salon, you can be taken then for your own professional photo shoot, which is like right next door to the salon, and you get amazing photos. So that's another reason, as our podcast go on, you'll hear me say, definitely do the photo pass because it is so worth it, especially if you do Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, because you get all those photos. And another tip is if you do the photo shoot, I would encourage the moms and dads, grandparents, whatever, to take the sash off your child during this professional photo shoot. You could take some photos with it, but I feel like it kind of gets in the way, and just be whatever princess you're going to be without the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo boutique sash on your child. So we have done that. We've taken that off every time when you were Belle the first time, Cinderella, Snow White, and the last time too when you were Belle, the older Belle version. Do you have any suggestions for the photo shoot?
For me, sometimes they don't have the right props for the princess you want to be, especially like if you want to be like Merida, they probably don't have like a princess, like a prop for that. So for me, maybe just bring like props for it. Just like obviously the main princesses they would probably have props for, but just like some other princesses that aren't as popular and they probably don't have as many props for them.
Like for Belle, they definitely had like the rose, the red rose. They had like a little stuffed animal for the beast. Cinderella, I can't remember what you had.
I think they had like a shoe probably.
Oh yes, the shoe, the slipper. And I think they knocked it out of the ballpark for Snow White because they had a lot of like apples. They had like a little background scene. We have some really great photos of you with Snow White.
So I will just say I do love Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. Any final things you want to say about that before we move into our next topic?
I would say if you can work it into your budget and your little girl is really into princesses, then I say go for it because it's a really unique experience, and I think it's worth it. And just make sure you not only budget financially but also time, because it is a good amount of time that you will spend. And if you have any questions about the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique that we haven't addressed, feel free to send us an email and we can get back to you on that. And it's mom and daughter disneydreamers@gmail.com. So since we're on the topic of being a princess and talking about princesses in general, we wanted to talk about where you can meet the princesses at the various parks.
So you can basically meet every princess at parades and character meals, but we're not going to talk about the character meals at this time. So the first princess that we're going to talk about is Ariel. So where do you meet Ariel? You can meet Ariel under the sea at her grotto in Fantasyland at Magic Kingdom. So she... after her ride, you can go and meet her. She's in her mermaid tail, which is great because I love seeing her in her mermaid tail. You can also meet her in her ball gown when visiting the character meals at Cinderella's royal table in Magic Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's also at the live action Ariel at Hollywood Studios, which is really, I love that.
Yeah, we did that actually when we went last year to Disney World in the summer of 2024. And even the background experience is beautiful. It actually looks like you're on the beach with her. It was really beautiful.
Yes. So I know Mirabel isn't really a princess, but at Magic Kingdom, at Merida's old spot where she was, now Mirabel is there, which I don't love because there's nowhere really else that you can meet Merida. Like, I feel like they should switch off every other day.
Yeah.
But you can meet Mirabel there.
She is also in the parade at Magic Kingdom. Now, granted, you don't have FaceTime and meeting time with her, but you can see her from a distance.
Yes. Mulan is a very great princess. She is in China
At Epcot.
in Epcot. She's amazing there at China. I honestly really do love her there at China.
Mm-hmm.
She's just very nice.
Yeah, and every time that we've met her, probably 2 times, 3 times, she takes a good amount of time with each person.
Yes.
And I remember the one time there was a little girl in front of us that was like crying a lot, and she was able to calm her down and made her feel really comfortable. So that was a really good experience.
And then we have the OG Princess Snow White.
Mm-hmm.
You can meet her at her restaurant at the Wilderness Lodge. Also, where you can meet her at that restaurant is Dopey, Grumpy, and the Evil Queen, which we'll talk about that restaurant in a further episode because that restaurant is amazing.
Yeah, it's one of our favorites for sure.
You can
highly
also
recommend.
meet her at Epcot at the country Journey by her wishing well, which she's really good there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and again, she's another princess I think that takes some extra time with you too. So
yes,
keep in mind when you're meeting the princesses, especially outside at Epcot, if there's a chance of like rain coming down or lightning, the cast members have like a special alert that they have like on their phone, on their walkie-talkies. They will they will stop the line and encourage you to come back at a later time because they have to protect the princesses. So I just want to make sure that everyone knows that.
I will say that most of the princesses at Epcot, they are usually out around the same time, so you won't be able to meet all of them.
I remember the first time that we went because the very first time people would joke with us and say, "Did you do any rides?" And we were all about finding the princesses, the characters. The very first time that we went several years ago, when you were 4, going on 5, I stood in line with you for Snow White, and my husband, your Isabel's dad, stood in line for Belle at Epcot. And then as soon as we were done with Snow White, we rushed down and got in line so that we were able to see both. And so that could be a little inside tip to do. So if you have a few princesses that you want to make sure you get to see, maybe tag team it and try and get in line.
Now we have Cinderella. She is at the Princess Fairy Tale Hall in Fantasyland. She's also
at Magic Kingdom.
Yes, she's also at her castle. She's meeting the princesses. She's meeting the children before they go upstairs to go to dinner or lunch or breakfast, which she's very nice there.
Yeah, it's a nice little perk. So if you have a reservation at the Cinderella's castle for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you get to meet Cinderella first, and then you get like a special pass to go upstairs and for your dining.
And then if you are a fan of the villains, you should meet Giselle and Anastasia. Also, if you do
The
love them,
Stepsisters.
I love Giselle and Anastasia. They are amazing.
And where are they located?
So they're occasionally near Cinderella's castle.
Mm-hmm.
They're really great. I love them because they're always mean to my dad. I love them a lot.
Yeah, they are in full character mode. They usually will pick on somebody if you're picking on them. They are all about their fancy dresses, and they usually will dance a little bit. They talk it up a lot. They're a great interaction.
Yes. So Jasmine is in Morocco at Epcot. She is also usually walking around in Adventureland in Magic Kingdom with Prince Aladdin. Sometimes they do like sit and you can actually like meet them, meet and greet. Usually they're just walking around near their ride. So that's really great for them. And then we have Anna and Elsa. They're in Norway at Epcot. And they're also at the castle show at Magic Kingdom. So there's a lot of castle shows. They're really great.
Yeah, and a lot of the characters and the princesses come out on the castle stage. So although you don't meet them at that point, you get to see them and experience them a bit.
Yes.
And Elsa and Anna, you when you're at Norway at Epcot, they're together, but you meet them separately, just like side by side. And a fun thing, like we usually like to talk to Anna, about chocolate. Like, what's her favorite chocolate? And we usually talk to Elsa about Olaf. So, and they are great. Have great fun conversations with.
And then my favorite princess, Belle, you can meet her in France at Epcot. She is wearing her blue village dress. You want to tell the story that you did with her?
Last summer, you and your dad went to what was it, Galaxy, the Guardians, right? Ride, and I did not go on that ride, but so I was just walking around the countries myself, and then I happened to see Belle again. And I wanted to get in line again to meet her, but she was going to go take a little break. She was going to probably go get some snacks and bread in France, what have you. Maybe go take a little book break. But I ended up following her and getting some pictures, and it was fun. It was just, some cute photos that I had of her kind of walking through the village. Her and her cast member friend didn't seem to mind. So
she's also at Akershus. She gets her little moment there.
Yes. So Akershus is a restaurant in Epcot in what country?
I don't know if it's really a country.
I
don't know. We'll let you guys know.
We'll get back to you on that. But the Akershus, it's in Germany, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a restaurant in Epcot where you have a character meet and greet. Well, it's a princess meet and greet, and Belle is usually there. Like a separate, like a little photo shoot, so she kind of meets and greets the guests, and then it's another opportunity to meet several princesses. They come to your table, just like the character dining. This one is a princess dining, and sometimes they're subject to change, but typically who's there is like Snow White. We've seen Aurora, Jasmine. Cinderella. Who else have we seen? Cinderella comes to there occasionally. And sometimes it changes. But you're not going to see like Elsa or Anna there. But the kind of like the originals. So that's definitely an opportunity to meet princesses. If you can get a reservation, of course, we recommend that. So book ahead. So once your dining reservations, opportunities, time slots are available, check that often. And a lot of times, if you don't see one, ideally when you want it, just don't give up. Check back, because there are there are cancellations. So we weren't able to get one this last time, but that's okay, because we had eaten there twice. And remember the one time when you went and you had a lot of interaction with Belle? Yeah, that was
That was
amazing. Our
beautiful.
table was near Belle Station, and she would do a lot of waving, and then you were doing like heart hands with each other. So that was a lot of fun.
Then we have Moana. She is outside the Journey of Water attraction at Epcot. She is very nice. I remember asking her, "Where's Pua?"
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that you can say to princesses. Like, you can even just say, like, "Oh, how's Lumi?" or "How's Gus Gus?" or Pascal. So that's really cool. And then she's also at Animal Kingdom in the Discovery Island character landing area. I had no idea that she was actually there.
Mm-hmm. And some of these tips that we've gotten of where to find the princesses, I just want to give credit to a resource that I did some research on, WDW Magazine. They had a lot of tips of where you can find princesses. So WDW Magazine is a great resource to check out for not only where to find princesses, but just in general. They do a great breakdown on like each park and a lot of news articles. So check it out.
Pocahontas is also at Animal Kingdom.
Mm-hmm. We saw her there once.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we have Alice, who you're not a fan of.
Well,
but
Alice in Wonderland, I don't really know if she's a princess. Is she?
I wouldn't say she's a princess, but she's still, I don't know. She's is at Epcot.
Mm-hmm.
You can find her near
in between the UK and Canada area.
United Kingdom.
Yep.
She is also there. She's not with them, but she's also with. There's also like, isn't there like Winnie the Pooh near here too?
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh. We had that experience the first time.
Yes.
Last summer of 2024 because Winnie the Pooh is in Robin's like bedroom, and he's like kind of a hidden area, so that's a fun little area to check out. And a lot of people don't know that, so it's gotten more popular over the time, but it's a nice experience to see.
And then we have Tiana. She is amazing. She is at the Princess Fairy Tale Hall at Magic Kingdom. I love her a lot. She is a great princess.
Yeah, and I think I mentioned it in our very first episode. In our first podcast episode, I like to talk to Tiana about cooking because I'm not a fan of cooking, but she usually gives some good tips. And Rapunzel is in Fairy Tale Hall as well.
Yes, and our last and final princess is Rapunzel.
Mm-hmm.
She is at the Fairy Tale Hall in Magic Kingdom. She has also been spotted at Cinderella's Royal Hall character meeting, but she's not a regular princess there. Mm-hmm. She is a great princess. I love her a lot. She is like my third or second favorite princess. So
yeah.
We are.
I wish she had like her own spot by the bathrooms in Magic Kingdom because that I don't know why they don't do that. It seems like so like
definitely
ideal to do because of the beautiful. It's funny to say the bathrooms are beautiful, but they really are. They have the special section in Magic Kingdom where all the lanterns are for Rapunzel. So I'm kind of surprised they've never done that, but maybe in time.
Yes. We are getting to the end of this episode, which means it's time for the Tale of the Week.
Yes. And not only are we huge Disney fans, but we are cat fans, so we're going to do a Tale of the Week. Yeah, like TAIL. So
what is your Tale of the Week?
Well, I would say lately we have 3 cats, but our one cat, who is named Minnie, she is not really I don't want to say she's not a people person, but she is particular of like who she hangs out with. She loves to be petted, but she doesn't want to sit like in your lap. She's not a lap cat. But lately, Minnie has been coming onto the couch more when you're there and sits like on the side of the couch. And she's been doing that a lot lately, like when I watch TV late at night, like when like, you know, you go to bed or whatever, and we just kind of watch our shows, and she kind of knows it's time to watch Grey's Anatomy, because I've been binge watching that. But
I love
and then she purrs, and then she keeps rubbing her head against you, but she will not sit in my lap.
I will say, yesterday I picked her up, and she like I had her on my shoulder, and she wasn't really crying.
No.
So she has been getting more friendly. So
Yeah,
that's great.
yeah. I mean, she's definitely a beautiful and sweet cat, but she is a little particular of like who she'll like sit with and let you hold. So what about you? What's your tale of the week?
My tale of the week is about s'mores. So lately, S'moresy, before I go to school, she's been wanting like my parents' bed to be made. So usually my dad does make the bed, but today I made the bed for her, and she was so happy. She kept going like meow, 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 and I put the 2 blankets on the bed, and she just gets super happy. When I come home, I always see her laying on it. It's like she doesn't move.
Yeah, I wonder if she does.
She is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I do want to talk about Kitty a little bit, because I know she's probably sad that she isn't in it.
Oh, okay.
Tale of the week.
That's our other cat.
I will say that about Kitty. When I go downstairs to feed her, when I shake the food, she'll run to her food bowl, and she'll start eating quickly. Or when I open up the trays, and she'll run, which is very nice. She's adorable.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining us for this episode of Mom and Daughter Disney Dreamers. And again, please give us a review, and find us on Instagram and Facebook, and we're on Apple and Spotify. Be sure to subscribe. We're also on YouTube. Ring that bell so that you know when our newest episode is live. And send us your questions. You can email us at momanddaughterdisneydreamers@gmail.com. And thanks so much for joining us.
Until next time, always remember us as the Mom and Daughter Disney Dreamers. Bye.
Take
Till
care.
next time.